Who the fuck? What's good? What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the communication station. You already know, but you already know. If you've been around here, you've been around long enough to know what we about to do, what we gonna get into. We gonna get into some real shit here today, right? So we just gonna jump straight into it. Once again, no intros, no nothing like that. This time. Matter of fact, we gonna do some advertising real quick. Any business inquiries down below, hit the email up. I stopped putting my Instagram there. I felt like that kind of became a waste of time for the most part. If you need to hit me on my emails, collabs, music projects, art projects, consultations, chart readings, whatever it is that you may need. Check down below. You know what I'm saying? We got the email there. We also today put some recommended YouTube channels. I felt like I just needed to give some other people some consideration today as well. So we got some recommended channels down there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you need anything business wise, hit me up on the email. And if you need anything content wise, go and watch some of these other individuals' channels as well. They've got some great content for sure. But anyways, let's get straight into it. So today, what we're going to be talking about is karmic cycles, what they are, or / how to recognize them, and also how to deal with them and confront them. You get what I'm saying? Because that's the only thing that you really can do when it come down to shit like this. That is like a pivotal moment to your growth, essentially. When you try to run away from this shit, it just continues to stifle you. You get what I'm saying? So this is the thing to take into consideration, right? When it comes to dealing with karmic cycles, right? The thing that we all need to realize is, like I said, this is a pivotal moment for your growth. This is something that you need to be paying attention to very closely and learning what you can from it and not be afraid of it. You get what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. How you're going to recognize your karmic cycles is not only shit that keeps happening on repetitive pattern type of shit cyclically. You get what I'm saying? In a cycle, you know what I'm saying? But also things that make you feel a certain way. The shit that you start to experience and like walking towards that experience, it feels very uncomfortable. You might be very afraid. Your heart start racing. You start feeling all type of weird vibes on your emotions and shit like that. This is how you recognize when you're actually walking upon a karmic cycle. You get what I'm saying? So previously in my life, whenever I was a lot younger and not as developed as an individual, I would see these things and want to run away from them. I would, even whenever I was a little bit more grown and still just less developed as an individual, I would think these moments were something that my intuition was trying to tell me to stay the fuck away from. But I realize, and the more that I've dealt with this, I realize it's not so much of that. Like, yeah, you can get an instinct for danger that is about to happen in the environment, but I feel like the more afraid that you are of the shit and the more that you like try to run from it mentally and emotionally or even physically, I feel like that's when you get those moments when the shit is more on like on a harmful tip, as far as like you might actually get some violence to come out of the situation or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal experience on it. The more afraid that you are, the more that these things actually have like power and control over you in some type of way. And it can come to means that might not be, it's obviously something you deserve and something that you need to go through, but still it might not be something that necessarily needed to happen if you would have just been in the right sentiment by default and been in the right mental and emotional state of being whenever you're viewing these things, and it would have just went by so much more sufficiently. So with that being said, that's how you're going to recognize it. That shit that make you extremely uncomfortable or extremely scared. Don't be afraid of getting hurt. You need to be in your mind knowing now is not my time to die. I know that now is not my time to die. I still have shit that I need to do and to complete down here on earth. You get what I'm saying? Like there's still shit that I need to do down here. I don't deserve to die yet, so there's nothing that's going to happen to me that can make me die before my time comes. Only what is meant to happen is what's going to happen. What I'm saying? That's the mind state that I started kind of having towards these things, and it's what helps break those patterns and those cycles, and it's also what gives you the most benefit from it, even if it is something that has to be like a crash out moment or a catastrophic event or some shit like that. You extract much more wisdom and knowledge from it because you're in the, at least for me, you're in the right mind state, you're in the right emotional state for you to actually be receptive to everything that's going on in the environment rather than being clouded by anxiety and fear, and you blurring the lines and thinking that is your intuition trying to warn you to stay away from that. You get what I'm saying? Because this is the thing about it. We've been taught to avoid a lot of these things, especially when it come down to shit that can be extremely harmful for you. You get what I'm saying? For the most part, that's what we see everyone else doing. That's why we see a bunch of grown ass adults who are still experiencing the same shit over and over on repeat, and they never grow past any type of situation. You get what I'm saying? So a person stay the same mentally and emotionally at their maturity level for the remainder of their life due to them running from those situations for their whole life. Now, don't get it fucked up. This could play out into a bunch of different ways for a bunch of different people. Your karmic cycle that you're meant to be growing through, and the shit that you might be afraid of or uncomfortable with, could be something like going to school and going to college and getting a degree and shit like that. So you might be on like a different rung, a different ladder scale with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Not to imply some level of hierarchy or being above individuals or anything like that. No, just purely just take that for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's experiences are the same. Not everybody has the capacity to experience the shit that other individuals could experience much more sufficiently. You get what I'm saying? So your natural level of uncomfortability or anxiety or being afraid of a circumstance or situation might be developed upon some other like softer shit, or like for me personally, one of those things would be like performing in front of crowds and shit like that. Even though I've like low-key been forced to do that shit and deal with that shit for the entirety of my life since I was a youngin'. They've always tried to make me take my writings and shit like that whenever I would do essays and stuff, and like put it on a pedestal and try to praise me and like put me in front of the class and make sure everybody knows that I'm the shit, and even to the point where they would want me to do like public speaking in front of the whole school and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I've dealt with that type of stuff my whole life, but there's other karmic cycles as well. Like I said, one of those things for me is something that I've went through on repeat, is like violent circumstances and situations. You get what I'm saying? And whenever I was younger, I allowed these things to traumatize me and make me shy away from confrontation and make me afraid in a lot of scenarios that I necessarily should have not had that chip on my shoulder. Learn to knock.
My bad, G.
Respect, please. Okay, so anyways, as I was saying, a lot of my shit to be afraid of in that aspect was like I said, violent circumstances. It made me develop a lot of trauma and a lot of unnecessary anxiety about situations. So whenever I was like moving forward and shit like that, I would do anything to avoid it. Not because I was incapable, and not because you know what I'm saying, like I got the shit beat out of me a bunch of times. No, nothing like that. It's just I know what happens when things get taken to a certain level. You know what I'm saying? And also a lot of time with the areas that I've lived at and shit like that, there's always like a low level threat of violence already by default. You get what I'm saying? So I already know if I move wrong, say the wrong thing, it's going to be a situation where some shit could really pop off in a real way. And a lot of people don't understand that. So, like I said, I developed a whole bunch of unnecessary anxieties and a whole bunch of unnecessary triggers and trauma responses, and examples of just shrinking myself and making myself smaller in the environment so I didn't ruffle feathers and make people uncomfortable just by me being me in the environment. You get what I'm saying? But as I've grown and I started to recognize that shit for actually what it was, it wasn't necessarily me being, like I said, being in these environments, my intuition is trying to tell me, oh, something weird is going on here. You need to stay away. You need to be afraid. No, it wasn't anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Even if some of these situations do come down to something like that, you get what I'm saying? It's not for me. It's not for me to stay away. It's for me to actually go towards that more, confront my fear in that aspect. You get what I'm saying? Instead of allowing that shit to continue to control me and run my life. So what I would do is actually start to confront these situations head on instead of being in an aspect where I'm just sitting back and being afraid and dodging every circumstance and situation that comes my way on this tip. Obviously, it keep coming back, and obviously, I'm still experiencing this same energy through different individuals for a reason. You get what I'm saying? But recently, I broke those cycles. You get what I'm saying? Recently, I broke those cycles. But the thing about it is, like I said, you recognize it by your fear, your anxiety, and that shit that you feel like is your intuition trying to tell you to stay away. What it actually is you just being uncomfortable, and you need to develop a level of comfortability around these things that make you uncomfortable or have traumatized you or hurt you in the past. You get what I'm saying? So you don't have to keep on a cycle, keep repeating these things and having more unnecessary malice and violence coming into your life and bleeding into your reality based on you being afraid of it and being like blocked off to that energy, but you're still accessing it every day by how you're interacting with it. And when you start to think about these things, or whenever you're carrying yourself through environments, and every time something starts to look like it's about to turn into that energy that you're afraid of, you start to get real anxious and you start to switch up the program, start to move differently, just to, according to how other people are moving and shit. You saying? So go towards these things. It's not something to be afraid of. All the shit that we was told to be afraid of, and all the shit that you might even convince yourself to be afraid of, that's the number one thing that you should not be afraid of. You go straight towards it. I promise you, it might be really fucking scary. Shit might get real sometimes, but that is how you break the length that you have to go through it. It might play out on a more intense level energy wise. You get what I'm saying? When you start to actually like work through these things and grow things. You get what I'm saying? A lot of the time on these cycles, we be so lost and we be so not picking up the message. You get what I'm saying? That this energy might play out through like a relationship that you have with a woman or a man, whatever the fuck you may be. You get what I'm saying? And you spend 5 to 7 years. You know, for me, shit never lasted that long. I can pick shit up a lot easier, but I've seen this shit play out. You might sit here 5 to 7 years wasting your time with an individual just for the simple fact that, yeah, this make you uncomfortable and shit like that, but you're still not picking up on the message. Either that or you just get stifled there where you're at and are too uncomfortable to move forward into new circumstances and situations. You get what I'm saying? So when we're first experiencing these things, they might play out for and span out for a longer period of time. You get what I'm saying? But the more that you start to break this paradigm and you start to actually confront these things and start to let it fizzle out more, where it's not got to be fucking played out for months to years at a time. You get what I'm saying? This shit could be solved, and you could learn what you need to learn and grow through within the matter of 5 seconds, within the matter of one interaction with an individual, within the matter of a day to a couple week or a month long relationship. You get what I'm saying? That's how this shit will start to play out. It will start to, the time frame that you have to experience these things will become much shorter. You get what I'm saying? Like I said, it might play out at a more intense level energy wise. You get what I'm saying? The intensity of what you're experiencing within this time frame might be much smaller and might be even to the point 10 times scarier. You get what I'm saying? It might end up being 10 times scarier. But the thing about it is, you're confronting the situation head on, and instead of allowing that energy to run your life. That's number one. And number two, you're in that mind state like I was talking about. This shit might not work for everybody, but fuck, 9 times out of 10 in my experience, what's right for me be right for the whole world a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even sit up here and act like it's purely individualistic at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, my experiences just keep showing me I'm always on the right track. The world needs to listen up. You get what I'm saying? That's why low key Leo North Node, but that's just a fucking bullshit talking point. We can point at astrological alignments all day. You get what I'm saying? But the thing that has been right for me the most is being in that mind state of knowing can't nothing happen to me. You get what I'm saying? And nothing will. I promise you. Obviously, you might have a little bit of battle scars. You might have a little bit of something from these experiences that you have to take moving forward and stuff like that. Don't think that you ain't necessarily going to have that as you move through these circumstances and situations. You still going to have some battle scars. but just know to yourself, I can't die. I have, there's too much shit that I have to do down here on earth. There's no way that I can die. There's nothing for me to be afraid of. There's nothing that this individual can do. There's no one that they can contact. There's nothing can happen. Nothing can happen to me. Any type of witchcraft, anything, that shit weak. It don't work. Trust me, because I know from these situations, people will try to do all type of weird shit to you. People will try to put all type of rituals and spells on you. Trust. That's how this shit go. But the less that you are afraid and the more confident you are in yourself and your mission and your purpose, and you know, shit, can't nothing happen to me. There's nothing that these individuals can do. There's no law enforcement that can hinder me. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. So yeah, that's how you shorten the time frame. Like I said, the intensity might be real as it gets, still within that short time frame, but can't nothing happen to you. You that's how you take control of the situation, and you don't let these cycles become something that actually impedes you, especially for a long period of time. You get what I'm saying? But I know I talked really fast on this one. Y'all might have to rewind and get some more precise breakdowns, and get some verbiage. Fucking slow the video down if you got to. I'm just on one right now. It's been a really hype day. I've been up dancing, making music all day. Like I'm fucking on one right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna sit here and get too long-winded with y'all. That's fucking 15 minutes within this breakdown should be enough. If I need to expound on it more, I'll do that in the future means. You know what I'm saying? But y'all take it easy. I'm gonna go down here and fucking find some food. Peace.